Hey you guys, it's MJ and welcome back to Pet Adventures again. So today I am going to be discussing a topic that you guys have been really wanting, and it's not exactly this exact topic, but a lot of you guys have been requesting more rat videos, and I think that's really funny because I've been trying to lay back on the rodents just a little bit because I know you guys love that I have the rats and everything like that, and you guys love the rodents the most, but I do own other pets, so I don't want to have just a full-on rat fest on this channel. As you guys know, I am Pet Adventures, meaning there's lots of little pets around. Can we just take a minute to admire the socks? I did get those on Amazon, so I've been wanting little, what do you call it, schoolgirl stockings, I think, for like over a year now. So today we are going to be discussing why rats make good pets and do they make good pets. So I currently have 3 rats right now. I have Lucky, Charlie, and Oscar. They're all really great rats, and I've had Lucky for over a year, and Charlie and Oscar maybe a little bit under a year. Lucky came from a very bad little area, and he was originally going to be a feeder, and same thing goes for Charlie. He came from the exact same place, and I saved them. And Oscar came from another job that I worked at, and he came from an actual pet store. He was sold as only a pet, but yeah, all those poor babies would have suffered without me. And absolutely none of those rats I planned on getting. When I did get them, I had no plans to get a rat on that day. It just kind of happened and called to me. But without further ado, I thought we would discuss basically why they make good pets, all the misconceptions that people think, and why people think that they don't make good pets. And hopefully after this, you'll kind of learn that rats are probably one of the best small animals you can get on the market right now. Now, first of all, even though they make some of the best small pets, I don't necessarily recommend rats as a first-time small pet. If you have no experience with small pets at all, I don't always completely recommend rats because there are some things that you kind of may be a little thrown off at, just because of behavior things and maintenance. So basically, rats do require quite a lot of cleaning. They can get a little bit smelly. I clean mine every 2 to 3 days, depending on how they smell. I mean, but usually it's not over 3 days. So you will have to clean them a lot. That's kind of a con. And you do have to use fleece. I wouldn't recommend any kind of loose bedding, because usually loose beddings do have a lot of dust in them, and they get respiratory infections really easy. So that's also something that makes them kind of a non-beginner pet. And also, usually rats are very affectionate. You will not find rats constantly biting you. You'll probably get bit more likely from a hamster than you would a rat. I remember when a lot of the kids in the pet store, when I used to work at the pet store, I actually used to try to get the mom to get the kid to hold a rat instead of a hamster. And the only real reason why I would ask her that is because I knew a rat was less likely to bite the child rather than a hamster. And I remember there was this one incident where basically this kid really wanted to hold a hamster, and I was asking the mom, do you want to try a rat instead? And they just wouldn't budge. The little kid didn't mind what she held, but the mom's like, no, I want her to hold a hamster. So I got out the hamster, and the hamster actually bit the child. And then I was like, yeah, that's kind of why I recommended a rat instead. And then later on, the kid still wanted to hold, and by the way, I give props to this kid because she took pain really well. Like, she was just really bleeding, and I felt so bad for her, and I felt bad because, you know, that happened. And what was really funny about it was she was just like totally cool about it. But anyways, and so was the mom. Anyways, they held a rat after she got bit, and the rat was like super affectionate and sweet to the little girl. And I was telling the mom, I'm like, yeah, this is kind of why I just recommended a rat, because rats are less likely to bite you. So that is a pro and why they make good pets as well. You're less likely to get bit by a rat. But a con to that is if you do get bit by a rat, it is a lot more damage than, say, a hamster or a mouse. So, because they are bigger, so therefore they have bigger teeth. So they can do a lot of damage if they do bite you. So one reason why I don't recommend them being top beginner pets. Another reason why they make really good pets is they're affectionate. They are super affectionate. I mean, honestly, basically every time I put my hand in the cage, my rats just lick and lick and lick and lick me, which is their way of showing affection. And if they're licking you, they're kind of grooming you, and that is what they would do to another fellow rat. Rats also make good pets because they are so intelligent. So you can train them to do a lot of things. You can train them behavioral wise, you can train them tricks wise. They're basically just very, very, very smart. So you could train them sort of similar to a dog. Another thing that makes them such great pets is that they do bond to you. Now, I'm not exactly saying that if you have a small pet, it's not bonded to you, but your odds of getting bonded to by a rat versus a lot of other small animals on the market are very, the rat would definitely overwrite most of those, because rats, they can bond to their owner very quickly. Another reason is it takes only about 2 to 3 weeks, depending on the rat, but it only takes about 2 weeks for a rat to start bonding with you. So it happens very fast and quickly and things like that. I don't know why I said fast and quickly at the same time, because that basically means the same thing. I look like a little Harley Quinn today, don't you think? I think. I don't watch it though. I don't watch Harley Quinn. Hoser! Also, another thing that makes rats such great pets is they're highly adaptable in every way. So, like, if you move a lot, it's not really gonna stress out your rat when you move with it. And also it can adjust to any kind of changes where, like, if you put a new cage mate in there, they're usually okay with that. Or if just new smells are around, that's perfectly fine. They'll eventually adapt. And also your schedule. So if you get up in the morning quite often and they know that, they'll start adjusting to your schedule and just get up in the morning. Whereas lots and lots of pets, like a hamster, sugar gliders, like any of those kind of animals, they don't really adapt to your schedule. You have to adapt to theirs. So if you're somebody who's up more in the morning or up more in the night, your rats are willing to play with you literally anytime. Now there are certain times that rats prefer to be up. I've noticed that my rats, without me even bugging them or anything, they want to get up around later in the day. So like from dawn and just midnight, things like that, they'll want to be up more. But if I want to play with them in the morning, like at the crack of dawn, they'll definitely be willing to get up, and they're super excited and things like that. And that's another thing. They're very excited animals. Once they get to know you, they live for you. I am not joking. Rats live for their owners. I'm not kidding here. Okay, my rats are so sad without me, and I feel the same way. I remember that when I went on vacation with my mom, I was out just for about 2 or 3 days. And my boyfriend said that my rats literally did nothing without me. Like literally, he said all they did was just lay around. They looked really sad. And when I came back home, they were super excited. They were licking me, and I feel like that's another pro. They lick you a lot. It's like a cool, affectionate thing. Like if you love dogs, then you'll love this too. I've noticed that a lot of people tend to not want rats because of their tail, which I find a bit odd, because I mean, would you not buy a puppy just because it doesn't have hair on its tail? Of course not. If you love the puppy, or if you love the kitten and you love its personality, you're not really going to pass it up just because it has no hair on its tail, or a missing eye, or a missing arm. So I feel like if you do have any phobia of rats just because of their tail, I would advise you to really think about that, because there's so many things that rats do that overwrite any phobia you may have. And of course, if you do have extreme paranoia and a phobia, no matter what you do, you want to get over it, but you can't. Of course, I'm not saying that you should, I'm not saying, go completely out of your comfort zone, and, if it makes you really, really uncomfortable, of course, you don't have to get rats. But I do suggest that you at least try it out first. Go to the store, hang out with a couple of rats every few weeks, and even bring it home and see if it's kind of for you, and make sure that the return policy is there when you get them. You don't want to go and get a rat and not be able to return it. So one thing also that is kind of a pro for some people is they're not a giant commitment to your life, meaning they don't really live very long. Averages about 3, sometimes 4 years, depending on how healthy they are. Now this is a con for me. I just love rats. It's gonna break my heart when any of my rats die someday, because that's a huge con for me. But it can be a pro for some people who aren't willing to have an animal that's a long-term commitment. Say if you get like a macaw, those birds live extremely long. 50 to 100 years is usually the average lifespan of some really large birds. So when you get a rat, it's not a giant commitment. So even if you do get rats, but you're kind of iffy about it, they don't live too long to the point of where it's a huge life commitment. Like I said, it really depends on how you feel about rats. If you get really attached to one of your rats or something like that, then obviously it is a huge con. But like I said, it's just kind of a pro for some people, unfortunately. I mean, I'd love to have Charlie and Oscar and Lucky my entire life, but that's just not going to be the case, unfortunately. Also, another pro is like I'm so sick of choking. Also, another pro, like I said, it can happen on rare occasions, but usually rats tend to not really be aggressive. There's a lot of animals on the market that tend to bite you a lot, and rats are not one of them. The only rat that ever really bites me is my rat Lucky. He was my very first rat. I still have him, but he's a biter, and he's always been a bit aggressive, I guess. He doesn't really like being touched and things like that. He came from bad breeders and all kinds of crazy stuff. So he's been through a lot, which made him a bit aggressive. I can get him out of the cage, and he can kind of roam around and stuff, so it's not super bad to the point of where I can't pick him up. He even licks me, and he's even affectionate with me, but there's just some times when he kind of just snaps. But more than likely, when you get a rat, it's not going to really bite you. Every now and then it can happen. It really depends on how much time you spend with the rat, and sometimes it depends on what kind of conditions they were bred in, their background, things like that. But overall, most likely when you get a rat, it's going to be a nice rat, whereas things like hamsters are much more prone to biting you right off the bat. That being said, I have had lots of hamsters, and none of them really tend to bite me if I've had them for a while. But like, for say, if you don't really touch your hamster very often, like very, very rarely, it's more than likely gonna bite you. So, and rats tend to not bite you even if they don't know you. And hamsters definitely will bite you if they have no idea who you are. And rats are just so sweet that they don't even do that. Another pro that I think to keeping rats is they come in a wide variety of colors, patterns, and ear types. So for example, all the ones that I keep are top-eared, but there are some that come as Dumbos. Dumbos are basically rats that have slightly larger ears to the rest of them, and ears that are more on the side than on the top of the head. And it's super, super cute for people who are super interested in rat keeping. Something that I also think is a very, very, very crucial part of keeping pets is you do want to make sure that they eat any kind of diet you feed them, whatever it may be. I know that there are so many people who would come to the store when I would work at the chain pet stores and stuff and say like, oh, my bunny isn't eating this, my hamster isn't eating this, my ferret isn't eating this, like just a lot of, my guinea pig isn't eating this. And the great thing about rats is they will eat anything. That's what makes them rats. Sometimes I like to say that maybe rats in a very, very past life were pigs because they will just literally eat anything. And I always tell people that if your rat's not eating, take it to the vet because that's not normal. I always laugh when people ask me what's my rat's favorite food, because my rats will literally eat anything that they know is edible. So that's a great thing about them. They're not picky eaters. I've never known my rats to not eat anything that I give them. So another great thing, rats, yes, rats actually cuddle with you. If you bring them into bed with you long enough, they will kind of just, you know, wander around. Hey guys, so I almost forgot one more thing, and I forgot to mention that rats are very, 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 very cheap. I spent over $100 when I first got my rats on this cage and their food and toys, but once you have everything, hammock, toys, food, all that stuff, they're excessively cheap. All I buy now is litter for them, and I don't even buy food that much because I buy it in bulk. So they are very cheap pets, even when you buy the best for them. One more pro that I'd like to add is rats love to play not only with each other, but they do like to play with you, their owner. It really depends on the rat, but most rats that I've met love to play. They love to play, they're super, super cute. There are a few other cons, like needing to get other rats. You can't just buy one rat, and obviously, you know, there's also a little bit of a con when you do have to clean the cage. You do have to get a large cage as well, and things like that. But I really think that all of it kind of overwrites everything. Overall, rats are super, super smart, affectionate, sweet, all kinds of things. And I never think that any kind of myth you hear about rats, like they involved the Black Plague or that they're evil or nasty, dirty creatures, you should really try getting rats before you believe anything set in stone. So please subscribe to us here on Pet Adventures. We make a lot of fun pet videos, our little pet family here, and give this video a big thumbs up, especially if you love pets. And we will see you guys next time. Please leave me some comments down below on what you love about rats, or if you decided to get a rat after this video. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye! Also, I just want to give all you guys a big thanks to your support. I really, 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 truly enjoy it. And I just want to mention on how you can support me and how you can help Pet Adventures here grow to be an even bigger and better pet channel with lots of great content and pet education. So as you guys know, you can support me by donating to me. All you have to do is go to my channel, and there is a little support button on the right side, I believe, and you can donate whatever amount of money you want. It would really help me out. You can donate $1 to $100, whatever you want. And if enough of you guys donate, it doesn't even matter how much you guys donate, because if enough of you guys do it, of course, then obviously it will add up. So if you can support me, do that. And of course, if you can't donate, then you guys can just share my videos to anybody who's looking for pet education and great content about animals, and just spread the word, and that would really, really, really help. So thank you guys so much. And until next time, I will see you guys later.